Hey, you guys, listen, I'm going to try to keep it long, but if it gets good, I'm going to keep on talking. Listen, while in prayer today, I heard God say this, cease and desist. And I said, God, cease and desist. I know what this word means. I know what this phrase means, but let me look it up. So I'm going to read to y'all what it means, okay? It means this: denoting a legally enforceable order from a court or government agency directing someone to stop engaging in a particular activity. Now, y'all know that we are part of a kingdom. Whose kingdom? God's kingdom. And so when God has his kingdom and he speaks in his kingdom, that is law. So what God is saying God is saying that he is telling the enemy to cease and desist. And this thing is legal because God has spoken. This thing is enforceable, which means where it shall be enforced. Why? Because God spoke it. And that means it's an order. God ain't asking the enemy to cease and desist. He's ordering him to do it, which means that God has stepped in and he's taken over. You ain't got to fight this thing no more. Why? Because God says the weapon of our warfare are not carnal, but they are mighty through who? Through God. To the pulling down of every single stronghold. Therefore, what? Every single stronghold that had you in a headlock, that had your finances in a headlock, that had your health in a headlock, that had your marriage in a headlock, that had you in a headlock in any shape, form, or fashion, God said he's pulling down that stronghold. Why? Because he has spoken it. It's his kingdom, and everything that the Father, the King speaks, it is so. It shall indeed perform it, okay? Now listen at this. I said, God, cease and desist. Okay, I understand what that means, but let me look up what cease means, and let me look up what desist means. Now listen at this. Cease means this: to bring or come to an end. I said, okay, I really got happy then, y'all. I said, let's look at what desist means. Desist means to refrain from, right? It means to forbear. Then it means to stop. And it also means to cease. I said, God, you basically saying the same thing. Oh, no. He said, yes, echo effect. My word says, thy kingdom come. Oh, girl, calm down. Thy kingdom come where? In earth, bring to end. As it is in heaven, bring to an end. That means God said, this thing is done. It's over. Everything that was torturing you, that was bringing turmoil to your life, that caused you to be up at night, crying your eyeballs out, causing you to lose rest, causing you to lose sleep, causing you to become paranoid, causing you to not trust, causing you to be in a state of fear, causing you to be in a state of doubt, causing you to be in a state of what? Paralyzation. God has said, it's coming to an end. Echo effect. Cease and desist. You don't believe me? Let me get Isaiah 25:8 for you. Hold on. Hold your horses. Hold your horses. This is what Isaiah 25:8 reads. It says, he will swallow up death in victory. Oh, that's good. He will swallow up death in victory. Then it says this: and the Lord will wipe away tears from off all faces, and the rebuke of his people shall he take away from off all the earth. For the Lord hath what? Spoken it. The King is spoken. That's why God says, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. So when God speaks, it gives you life. You better put down them Cheerios and chocolate chip cookies, that Wonder Bread. Put it down and get to his bread. Because his bread is going to give you life, which means what? Life more abundantly. God is saying death will be swallowed up. And when God said death is going to be swallowed up in his victory, he's talking about the enemy. Why? Because the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. So in a space in your life that seemed like it was dying down, maybe your finances was booming at one point, but now you're saying, God, it don't seem like I can keep finances. What's going on with my finances? God said he is swallowing up that death that tried to attack your finances, that tried to attack your health, that tried to attack your marriage. You hear what I'm saying? God got you. Continue doing what you're supposed to be doing, because God said he is rewarding you. This is for all of you who have been doing what is righteous. God said those who continue to stay in righteousness, that what? He will surely reward you. Now, if you know you ain't been doing what you're supposed to be doing, this word ain't applying to you. You don't have access to this word until you get in alignment with God. You don't have access. How do I know? Because God said those that walk in the Spirit, those are called his sons and daughters. He said if you ain't walking in the Spirit, then you ain't in his what? His kingdom. He said you don't have access. He said you're not called his sons and daughters. You don't have access to the inheritance. And this word today is an inheritance to you. God is saying cease and desist. Come to an end. Come to an end. God is pulling down that stronghold. And now you shall indeed walk in victory. Why? Because God's victory has swallowed up every hindering thing, every single attack, every single agenda, every single plot, every plan, every mission, every contract, every covenant, every agreement that the enemy tried to forge with you. God has brought it to an end. Why? Because he says, cease and desist. Repeated that thing, meaning the same thing. In other words, God has given the devil a whipping. He's saying, did I tell you not to bother my son and daughter? Didn't I tell you that no weapon formed against you shall prosper? Didn't I tell you? God said, now, devil, I want you to do two things. That is, bring it to an end and bring it to an end. God got you. I hope y'all get it. I hope y'all got it. I hope that was good. But if you didn't get this thing, rewind and watch again. But in the meantime, between time, if you take just a little bit of what I'm telling you and apply to your life to the best of your ability, you won't ever have to mess with smile. Why? Because your smiles will always be genuine. Be blessed, stay blessed, be blessed, stay blessed. It's over. Cease and desist. God has brought this thing to an end in earth as it is in heaven. Go live your life in victory.